What did I do? Physics. Layer matrix. Player. Should be able to collide with player obstacle. So weird. So I put this back to default. Do I run into it? Wait, what about this? This is supposed to be... So confused. Well, this makes sense why the object was passing through it. I don't need to worry about the bodies anymore. Oh, I should probably leave that off. Player should collide with player obstacle. It's right there. This is not a trigger. What is the blueprint? The blueprint's an object. That's why. The blueprint can be default. I don't know about that. Look, the more I use AI to improve my code. I just think you need to. Like, it has to be... Like, I wouldn't use it to write an entire application, but I've definitely used it to improve my speed. And think out complex problems. So I'm on the side of cautious optimism with respect to it. I don't think it's scary because eventually it's gonna get to the point where maybe, possibly, it could replace jobs, but I don't think we're there yet anytime soon. You still need a human to interact with it. And the cost of it is expensive. The amount of energy it requires to do complex computing is expensive. So I think it's right now almost cost prohibitive than that of a human. I mean, obviously I'm paying my whatever $20 a month and I'm using it to augment my stuff. Yeah, exactly. But if you do have the skill, I think, and you understand how to prompt properly, I think it can really speed you along. And then you also have the knowledge to know when it's making mistakes. So like we just saw, CodePilot generated a function that was determining what surface, but it was using the wrong calculation. It was expecting an angle between the vectors, not the calculated dot product. Calculated dot product was a number between 0 and 1, right? So when we shifted the function around to do that, our surface normal calculation stuff worked. If I didn't know that was wrong, if I didn't look at that and say, oh, it's thinking of it as an angle instead of the dot product, it wouldn't. Maybe it would have figured it out. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. But that's a good example of just blindly letting it do stuff versus not, I guess. It's silly, but that's the kind of stuff you have to be careful about. All right. So now we have our surface detection working. What I want to do is when you're in placement mode, I want to update this little box here to give the instructions for when you're in placement mode, because we're going to have rotate left and right. We're going to have place. We're going to have drop the item. We also have the bug that we got to fix. When you drop an item, the placeholder stays there. In fact, let's see if we can solve that right now. See if we can. Excuse me. So on release, we should be exiting this. So I think that the problem is we're not deleting the ghost. So if we go back to the construction kit, we have to get rid of the preview object because we are spawning the preview object here. Where are we actually spawning the preview object? Placement controller, maybe? Yes. Oh, remove. Oh, we should be destroying it. Are we not calling? Maybe we're not calling this. No, we are. Let's see. We go back to here and we go to remove. Oh, we need to, because this changed. Object, game object. That's why. We're just destroying the script on it. So we should rename this to Blueprint Handler. To indicate that it's a script. That's why it wasn't getting destroyed. Because we changed it from a game object to a script. So when you call destroy on a script, it actually just deletes the script, not the game object. Little note to self. Not if you believe the hype. Now they say AGI is like right around the corner. Here we go. Yes. So there's the game object. The game object has the scripts on it, right? If you destroy the game object, everything gets cleaned up on it. If you destroy the reference to the script, so if my code reference, so right now here I have a reference to blueprint handler. Actually, I don't need this cooldown timer anymore. That's a reference to a script on an object. Again, I'm just saying, not if you believe the hype. If you listen to all the people talking ChatGPT and all that stuff, they're saying AGI is like literally right around the corner. So this is a reference to a script on an object. If I call destroy on just the script, it actually deletes the script off the object, which is what was happening. It wasn't destroying the actual game objects, which included the model with the little preview on it. It was just saying, hell, did this blueprint handler just delete that script off the object? Which you may want to do. But in this case, we want to delete the object. So because it was a game object before, and then I updated it to be the blueprint handler, I had to change it here to say destroy that game object. Okay. And actually, I don't need to do this. We'll just change it to that. Because there's no reason for me to have to go through the system for that. Okay. Check place. When was I setting this? Oh, I'm such a moron. I needed that. I need to do it here to set it. That's why I did it that way. Because this gets called when the placeable mode changed. I call spawn the object and then I retrieve the placeable out of there. Okay, that's why. And then I set it to this. That's why it was throwing the error. Okay. All right. I don't know. Now it's working on getting the box to align with a grid. Okay, so we have a function here that is setting the position. Let's create a serialized field, private bool, snap to grid, and we will say if snap to grid, else just use the point. And what is it doing here? It's rounding the point Let's see if that works. I don't think we want round though. I think we want to be able to control the grid size because it's going to snap to the nearest. Where's the player? Snap to grid. Here we go. Yeah, see, it's going to. It's rounding to the nearest like 1, so it's going to. Actually, it's not even really snapping. That's not what we want. We want to control the grid size too. So instead of doing this, we're going to say, oh, it was updating the hit point. That's why it wasn't working. See what this. I think it's still going to be weird because actually, can you even update this? Let's see. I still don't think this is what I want, but let's just see how it looks. Yes, Twitter is a dumpster fire, I agree. Okay, and we go to the player. Snap to grid. That's not as bad as I thought. But I want to be able to control the grid size. Because, like, that's a big jump. And I also want to be able to control, to toggle it. So let's add a new function on the build menu and say snap to grid toggle. And then let's add a binding. Public void on snap to grid toggle. Okay. Delete. What should we use? Say X. Keyboard and mouse. Save. Actually, you know what? Let's make it G for grid. And what we'll do is we will put this in the service, placeable service. Public static bool snap to grid. And then public static void snap set snap to grid. And then Actually, why don't we just make it a public setter? Okay, and then what we can do is we can say in the controls, we can just say placeable service dot snap to grid to toggle it every time you perform the action. We'll just debug. Okay. And then over here, instead of saying this, we'll say placeable service dot snap to grid. We can get rid of this. Okay, and if I hit G, okay, I'm now snapping to grid. Hit G again, I'm back to moving. Cool. All right, we're making progress, making progress. So now, let's do position, position. Okay, do it that way. And then set position to grid, hit. Turn. Okay. Hello, Skylab. Happy New Year, sir. Let's do grid. We want floats, grid size. Let's start with half. And then let's make this position. And we don't need to pass this. We'll just hit dot point. Okay. This becomes vector 3. And instead we will do round grid size times okay. All right. Okay, it's looking good. Smooth. Snap to grid. Okay. All right, so now we want to make sure that we're always sitting on top of the surface, right? We want to make sure that because like, as you can see, like sometimes I sink into the ground, depends on where it's making contact, adjusting it and all that kind of stuff. So to do that, we want to update our, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. All right. So in our